Hi there. In this video, we are going to examine precisely how the event integration between Gecko and ClickDimensions within Dynamics works. We're going to create an event in Gecko. We're going to see what information pushes over, exactly what the setup looks like, and we'll discuss things along the way. Now, a few things to note. Firstly, I don't want anyone thinking that this is a demonstration that took hours and hours and hours of preparation to solve. All we've done in anticipation of this particular video is 1, log into Dynamics, and 2, create an out-of-the-box integration with Dynamics. I've done nothing other than create a new integration, and these are the default fields that Gecko pulls across. Enough to effectively create an event registration status within ClickDimensions, a first name, a last name, and an email field to push over the details. Now, a really good thing to note about the integration between Gecko and ClickDimensions is that we can only push information from Gecko to Dynamics. If you change a status of a student within the event on ClickDimensions, if you add contacts into the event on ClickDimensions, we do not pull those into Gecko. We can only push from Gecko to ClickDimensions. With that being said, let's build our first event and see precisely what pushes over and what doesn't. So let's call our event the Gecko Summer event because I'm really uncreative with names. We'll pick a start date and an end date, and we'll say that this is an event with multiple sessions. So basically within Gecko parlance, you can create an event that somebody can sign up to or not. You can offer a range of different sessions and tell the student to only pick one, i.e. a single session among all of them, or you can say book onto multiple. Let's choose a single session, and we'll keep this as a physical event, but this works exactly the same irrespective if it's a venue-based event, virtual, or a hybrid one. So we're going to go ahead and save changes. Now, Gecko absolutely supports guests as well. There is no native out-of-the-box field to push that guest count to into ClickDimensions, so we don't push that over, but it is possible to push this information over to other fields as well. It would just be a manual and not out-of-the-box thing. Let's very, very quickly fly through and add 2 different sessions. So we'll call this creatively session A, and let's say that goes in the morning. Let's create a session B as well, which, as you probably guessed where I'm going with this, is going to be in the afternoon. Okay, perfect. Now, in order to sync this event over to the CRM, in fact, let's add a contact first. So we'll add 2 different contacts to the event, and I'm going to skip the whole booking form process because this is a simple demo. Let's quickly, in fact, add myself to session A and the other student to session B, just so we have a student record in each of them. And let's add to session B. Now, of course, you don't need to do this, but what we're going to see momentarily is, as a spoiler alert, sessions do sync across. So whereas if you weren't using ClickDimensions and instead you were using marketing campaigns, which we also support, Gecko can only push the top level status. We can push the statuses for the individual sessions with ClickDimensions. Okay, so in terms of syncing, all we need to do is build our event, get everything set up, go into the advanced settings for the event, and tell Gecko, hello, please sync this to ClickDimensions. Hit save, and if we refresh the page, we'll see that Gecko is trying its best. In fact, let's tell it to sync. Oh, in fact, it's admonishing me for being a bit impatient here, but this event is now syncing over to ClickDimensions. Now, within ClickDimensions, in order to find this, I'll move my face out of the way. I've gone to the ClickDimensions area, and then if you scroll down, obviously your instance may be set up slightly differently, but I've gone to the events section, and we can see actually that sync has already taken place. We can see we have the Gecko Summer event, we've got the Gecko Session A, and we've got the different times as well pushing over. So if we click within the event, we can click on connections as well. This isn't linked to a parent event, whereas in fact, we've got session B that's pushed across now. We can see session A does have a connection to the summer event, which is how we tier the different sessions. And if we click into the overall event and we go to related and event participations, which is where we write our student information to, we can see those contacts have been created in ClickDimensions right there. So really nice. If we go into session A, we would expect to just see myself there. Event participations. Oh, in fact, that's completely the wrong event I've clicked on. Session A, just there. We can see the event participation for myself, whereas session B would obviously have our other contact. Super, super simple stuff. Now, the reason that we break it down, you'll probably be thinking, well, you've got a session and then you've got session times as well. Gecko has 3 levels of events. We have the overall, the session, and then multiple session times, because it's perfectly possible that maybe if this was called campus tours, we'd have, it would be the same session, but just multiple instances of it. So having 3 different levels allows us to have different time slots, if applicable, for this session. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens then when we update the status. So let's imagine that we're using our offline data capture app. Let's go and say that the student has come in here. We've scanned them in. They're now marked as attended. In fact, let's mark them as attended in the session. Edit booking. Let's mark them as attended. And let's go back to our sessions and let's actually give myself the ability to self-check in, which is something that we absolutely support in Gecko. You don't have to scan people in if you don't have the resource or the people to do that. So let's imagine that we've told our students, we sent them a text out automated on Gecko that you can check in. So at the beginning of the session, maybe the speaker says, everyone, you'll see a text that's just been sent to you. Click that link, go ahead and check yourself in. That's going to mark the student as attended. And let's tell Gecko to push this across. So syncing is going to be happening now. The way that Gecko will sync is it's completely automated. We'll sync the events every couple of minutes in the run up to the event. When the event is actually taking place, we'll sync the event far more frequently. It's just so you get that accurate overview of how the statuses are changing as you run through. And then once the event is finished, we slowly start winding down over a couple of weeks. So any stragglers who are added after the fact, will be pushing the information across to ClickDimensions. All right, let's go back and refresh our event, and hopefully we should have some updated statuses. If we go to event participations, again, that's the wrong event. I'm terrible at doing that. I keep seeing session A. I should have named it something different. So let's go here. So let's see. This should hopefully be pushing across. We'll check if session B has synced first, because it does take a couple of seconds to push this over. So the event participation, fantastic. So we can see our student here is marked as attended, which is perfect. So that's instantly, and it would be automated in terms of pushing that over. Again, this works with all of the statuses. We'll choose the most appropriate that we can of the list. So if somebody is marked as cancelled, if they go to their RSVP page and are cancelled, or if they're engaged or waitlisted, again, all of these statuses within Gecko can be pushed over, which is super easy. So that's it. As you saw, with an out-of-the-box event, literally all we do is create the event, go to when we're ready to sync it and everything's set up, we go into the settings and we say, please sync this across to ClickDimensions. That's going to create the event within ClickDimensions in the ClickDimensions events section, and then we'll push across the attendee information as an event participation where we can sync over things like the status.